I would never end ByteDelight. ByteDelight will go on. Hey guys, welcome to this quite unusual video. It's about the biggest change I think I've made so far when it comes to ByteDelight, and I want to share this with you because it's gonna have some impact on my business and of course you guys, the people in the ZX Spectrum community and more than that. So this year has been quite a roller coaster so far. It started with a couple of months of very much uncertainty. In February, March, sales almost got to a full stop because the coronavirus conquered the world, if you can call it that. So I got almost no orders in, and that really shows how worried people all over the world were back then. And I really thought in March, I think it was about March, that ByteDelight would come to an end, because it didn't go well for a couple of weeks. But then suddenly around April, sales got back to way over normal levels, if you can compare it to last year, for example. And during a couple of months, I got in about 3 times as many orders compared to about a year before that. So I thought that I was completely back in business, but throughout the year, sales really got up and down. I got a couple of moments that there were days without much sales, and then other days where the orders keep coming in, and it was really hard to pinpoint what was causing those ups and downs. But because of the really changing amount of orders that came in, I ended up with a huge backlog of work. I think the top was 190 orders or something that I needed to process. I think I'm back to about 70 or 80 at the moment, which is good. But still, of course, many people are waiting for their orders, especially for repairs and custom requests. Some people have been waiting for over a year for some specific repairs, so that's quite bad. And the couple of moments I had when sales came down, I really thought that I could catch up with all the backlog, all the remaining work, but it never happened. So I keep promising people to work on their repairs, for example, which I still haven't done, and I'm very sorry for that. At this moment, there are a really huge amount of orders coming in. It's really crazy at this moment again. So it seems that this going up and down of the amount of orders is continuing. There's really no way of predicting anything about the amount of orders that will come in. And then this year I needed to spend a lot of extra time on my family. One reason was that the kids were at home for a long period and they needed a lot of guidance for the schoolwork. And because of all the craziness this year, I found it really hard to focus on ByteDelight and work efficiently. So my efficiency was quite low throughout the year. So at this moment, loads of orders are coming in still, and that's one reason that I need to make a change. And I have something in mind, which I will explain in a minute, and which will be, in my opinion, the biggest change for ByteDelight so far. One more thing I want to talk about before talking about the changes is that I had 2 really stressful moments this year. One was, which I talked about already in February, March, when the sales got down almost to a complete stop. I was really worried. There was one night that I couldn't sleep at all, which made me think about solutions like selling the house, for example, if I needed to, of course. But as I said, fortunately, sales got up again. But I must say that was merely compensating for the loss of the weeks without any sales. And of course, selling the house wouldn't really be a solution for anything. It will only postpone other problems. And would make work and other stuff almost impossible. So that wouldn't be a real solution for me and my family. Another thing that happened in the beginning of the year was that our previous accountant, a dear friend of ours, passed away, and because of that I had to look for a new accountant. That almost always comes with things like changing your way of administrating your bookkeeping, and I'm still not ready with that, so that causes a lot of delays as well. The second moment this year that I was really stressed was about 4 weeks ago. I was really extremely worried about the uncertainty, about the amount of orders going up and down and creating backlogs. But because I couldn't really keep up with the amount of work coming in, the average amount of sales is really still not enough to make a good living of it. Another reason for the stress was that I was thinking of the upcoming Brexit. It's really uncertain what's going to happen, but because about half of my sales go to the UK still, I'm really worried about that part coming to a stop for a while, or maybe get down to just a small percentage of what I'm selling now. Also, the coronavirus is of course messing up people's wishes. People are starting to experience the economical impact of the coronavirus, and they start to be more careful with what they spend their money on. I really needed to think of a solution for this. So actually that night, when I couldn't sleep, I thought of what I could do. A couple of friends suggested to me that it could be a wise idea to start applying for jobs. So that night I decided to actually look for a job, and what I was thinking of is getting back to the job which was my biggest specialism and which I've done for 12 years. That specific work was software development on a geographic information system. It's done by, I think, about only 200 people in the Netherlands. So my idea was that because this is a niche, there would be companies that are still looking for these kinds of developers. So I googled on it. I think it was 4 a.m. or something when I did that. And the first result I found was specifically for that job. And the news is, if all goes well, that I will start a job in 3 weeks. I've had a couple of job interviews and some other meetings with people of the company, all digitally, by the way, so everything from home. So for me and my family, that's really good news. I'm really looking forward to the job. But what about ByteDelight then? Well, I would never end ByteDelight. ByteDelight will go on. But in a new format, which will mean that I will only put in stock what's actually on the shelves, what's completely ready. I will end the eBay listings because there's no way for me to create a stock level there as well. So that means that the most wanted products from ByteDelight will still be available, but maybe sometimes with some delay. And there is a chance that some more exotic products, like products that I need to craft manually, will either not be available anymore, or maybe only if I really have the time. And maybe there's even time for new incoming repairs, but I will see that in time. So today I really have to put all the stock levels to 0. I will also end the eBay listings. In the next weeks I will focus on finishing all the repairs and my back there, the huge stack. And after that I can do some new production for raising the stock levels. But I really must get rid of the stress and the pressure, and this is the only way of doing that. So I can focus on my new job in a couple of weeks and can finally catch a breath. Maybe it sounds a bit exaggerated, but this really will make my life more bearable again. I really love working on hardware for retro computers, and I really love being in contact with people in the community, but I really need a stable basis for my family and myself, and that's the thing I'm doing at this moment, creating that stable basis. So that's what's going to happen today. Thank you for listening to me. I really hope people will accept this change. The alternative would be something like a burnout or a bankruptcy or something. So I'm making this change. I really hope you will support me with this. And again, ByteDelight will not end. Which is done by, I think, about only 200 people in the Netherlands. Also, there is a chance that some more exotic products, like products that in... Alright. But this will really make my life more bearable. I will end the eBay listings because it's really hard to... I will end the eBay...